The last time we played, you had returned to Polythreme from Antog via teleport. You'd made some final preparation, said some goodbyes, and potentially robbed a very powerful but very expensive potion, disguised as one of your close allies and member of the Council, Vidar, who is also who you visited next. Preparations finished and ready to leave, you boarded the Dart, your airship, and set out on another long journey through the skies of Kauron. Your path through the air would lead you far south before winding around a cluster of storms towards your real destination far to the west, another continent by the name of Kalassi. To determine the strength and presence of nearby blight in the cluster of storms, Vidar had equipped the airship with harpoons, instructing you that you'd have to regularly hunt creatures in the sky to take samples and ascertain a safe path. As your flight progressed and you encountered a flock of birds and larger aerial predators hunting them, Vidar suggested engaging them as a way of training and familiarizing yourself with the process. You fought and killed one of the sky raptors after retrieving the necessary samples of blood, letting the rest of the flock disperse, as well as letting one of the sky raptors that you had managed to bring under your control return to the flock. We begin today's session mid-blind. The dawn continues to soar through the open skies as threads of cloud and ocean fly by underneath. Above the airship, the bright and fluffy carpet of cloud rolls by slowly, intersected only occasionally by a very slowly sinking sun. You are free to act and move about as the hours of the afternoon trickle by.
So is this like directly after?
Yeah,
Where did Evelyn disappear to?
Evelyn went down to her lab space. She rather promptly walked downstairs.
Yeah. Silas, what happened? Seemed like everything was under control when
Yeah,
I went to
I
get help.
I might have underestimated the situation here. It was closer than I expected.
Huh.
I just thought we had a little bit of fun with training and birds and but
Yeah.
it was quite dangerous in the end. Kind of feel bad. I'm a
Well,
terrible bodyguard.
well, I'm sure So maybe we could do something nice for Evelyn. Something.
Sure. You have something in mind?
I don't.
Yeah, same. That's why I
Oh,
was like,
okay.
oh, you have something in mind? Good. Because
No,
I
I
don't.
don't know. Yeah.
Hux, what would you do to cheer up Abel?
I don't know. Do like the opposite of what I think is fun.
Okay. So what would something like that be?
Maybe like put something back together that was destroyed.
Okay. Good thought.
Or not talk to birds. Or be very quiet and just sit on a chair.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
He's thinking really hard about this.
Yeah, I can tell. Why don't we? Yeah, why don't we? Why don't we put something together? Is the like bird that's still out here or has been dumped over the side?
Mm-hmm. Currently, no one has thrown it over the side yet.
Maybe. I mean, you're good at the birds and animals thing. Maybe we could like see if there's anything useful from these evil little frost creatures. Maybe there's,
Do they have teeth? We could put the teeth into the thing you made for me, and then I have more teeth to throw.
Yes, true. It's not quite that easy. I would need some
Oh.
other. It's not like I can just pop it in and it's just good to go.
But still, like, maybe for the future, if you have
Yeah,
time
yeah.
and can figure something out. First of all, we have to figure out if these things have teeth, you know.
Sure. Or maybe there's like a
Go ahead and roll me a survival check.
organ where. Well, I'm asking Huxley. Can you kill that?
I will help Huxley checking out the bird if Hux goes for it.
Yes.
Well, it was like breathing cold on people. Maybe it's got like some kind of cold breath box that would be helpful to Evelyn. As a nice sorry that you got frozen to death almost.
So, Hux rolls a survival check then, Beggar?
Mhm.
Want me to roll for you, or do you...
Yes.
And
I think I have a +6.
and when I help Hux, does Hux get advantage or
Yeah, you
something?
can have it later.
Okay. 18 plus 6 then, I guess?
24.
You'd fairly quickly see them. It doesn't really have teeth. They are these sort of teeth-like protrusions of the beak that you could potentially hack off as teeth, but there are no, classical teeth.
I guess I will ask Red, do they like have to be actual teeth, or is it just like you can use whatever you want, you just have to use the right magic to do it, or how does this work?
It's probably easier. I did have some help with it. I mean, look, we can break one of these off, and if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Sure.
Okay. Then you hack off some of these beak teeth.
What about the
You can tell, just sort of examining the creature from the outside, that the skin of the creature is likely highly cold resistant if you were to sort of try and make leather out of it or something of the sort. As to its cold breath, you likely wouldn't really know until you actually cut it open. Took it apart. Is then what you want me to do?
That's what I'm suggesting. But
I will follow Red.
I mean, I'm really not good at this part, so you need to tell me, do you think you can do that pretty well?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so you begin searching for its cold organ. For this, I would require a medicine check.
Now,
I could also take a nature check at disadvantage.
Do we all look together, or...?
I feel like
This is like a
yes.
single check. You can't really repeat it.
Okay.
You
I,
can't really get rid of the disadvantage with just helping unless you have anything that would help you with this kind of creature's anatomy.
so this is where like we need to make sure we get this right because this is something that Evelyn's good at, and it would be like nice of us to do this right. But if we do it wrong, it'd probably just be more irritating.
Okay.
So, do we maybe? Do you guys think that you could skin it okay? You guys were talking about the skin was good.
Yeah, I'm good with a dagger. Guess skinning it shouldn't be that much of a problem.
Okay.
Yes. It's actually a +7 to my survival.
Well, I'm gonna go talk to Evelyn about how valuable we find her, and that we just couldn't do the dissection without her. And you guys
Okay.
do that. And how bad you guys feel. So feel bad.
Actually, I'm actually better at medicine than I am at nature.
Oh, ah. Actually, same.
You guys are amazing.
Well, it's because it's wisdom based.
Yeah, because nature is like intelligence based and survival is wisdom based. So,
Yeah, which is always weird to me.
Yeah.
Every time I roll nature on my druid cactus, I'm actually saying
Yeah.
we should.
I guess nature is more about theoretical knowledge about stuff. But yeah.
It's over to skinning it.
Okay, so you're just skinning it for now?
Yeah.
Okay. Wouldn't be too much of a problem. It is a fairly large creature, and you find that as you skin it, it has a fairly thick layer of fat just underneath the skin. And simply cutting through that yields you a fairly large portion of that skin.
Is it like bleeding a lot? Is it like hot-blooded, cold-blooded?
The creature itself appears to be hot-blooded.
Mhm.
As you're sort of cutting the skin, there is not a lot of blood that you, not a lot of bleeding that you witness.
Okay.
In the meantime, I can go tap on the door to Evelyn's Medicaid chambers.
Yes, come in.
Hi, you doing all right?
Perfectly fine.
Yeah, sorry about that. I would not have left it. It looked like it handled. Look, they're up there going through the bird's body, and it's got some interesting anatomy. I thought it might be of interest to you to collect. And everyone else was, well, they were thinking about taking it apart, but of course they were thinking, I mean, you're so much better at it than all of us. Well, I'm sure they'd really appreciate the help, and frankly, they don't want to mess anything else up today. It's like I think how they were kind of feeling.
Is that what happened?
Well, I think that Silas's opinion is, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting outlook of the situation.
Yeah. I think he majorly underestimated the thing's capabilities. That's how he was feeling. It feels really bad about that.
And that's what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean that's why he pretty directly said that. You did pretty directly say that, right?
Yeah, I did.
And do you believe him?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've never known him to be a terribly what would the word be? He doesn't hide things well, as you probably noticed, regarding everything in him and
That's what I
Lorna.
would have assumed.
Look, everybody
But
makes
I'm-
mistakes.
Hmm.
I mean, this is a pretty big one for him to make. But look, I mean, he's trying not to continue making mistakes by like cutting into some kind of crazy organ or whatever that he might have previously thought about just doing. You know, I mean,
Right. Or go look at the bird. In the meantime, don't leave me with just Silas watching my back. And she's gonna move to walk out the room.
Rhett's gonna like scratch his head under his head and be like, "Oh boy, here we go."
Gonna move to swiftly head back out.
How am I getting roped back in? Oh boy.
Basically elbow deep in this creature. All of us. So much skin.
You can see that they've skinned the sort of middle section torso of the creature. As it goes to the wings, the skin fairly visibly starts thinning out. The wings themselves are fairly thin, not containing a lot of blood or flesh, mostly just bone structure and the leathery skin of the wings itself.
Right. Might as well see if there's anything useful here. She's gonna go ahead and try and to dissect it. Being mindful of when it was using ice, that was like a breath, correct? Like, was that a breath attack? That I
Every
recall?
time you
Or was it a
were
wings?
hit with the ice, it was mostly from the wing.
Wings. Okay. Then I guess she's gonna try and isolate some of the feathers, as well as watching to be cautious with any sort of like connecting limb area to that, just to see if there's anything of use. It
Go
can be
ahead
potentially-
and roll me a map.
Mhm. 29.
As you start sort of examining the wings, you find that there aren't really feathers. They're almost these pseudo feathers of leather, much like the skin of the actual body.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhat fans out like feathers. Likely, they are also somewhat independently movable to the few muscles and spread that far out into the wings. But as you sort of cut into the wings and along the sides, you notice that there is a thin, almost like a vein, but not carrying blood. At its edges, as you cut in, you see crystalline hoarfrost forming. It seems to run almost throughout the entire wing and back into the torso of the bird.
Then she will try and continue to follow where those are leading back to see if they lead to some form of an organ.
You continue cutting towards the torso of the bird, careful not to nick any of these strange veins going throughout the wings like a web. And you find on either side of the chest of the bird a fairly large gland, which appears, just from your medical knowledge, to be fairly thick in terms of an organ's cellular walls. So you determine, as a result, it likely contains a chemical produced by a gland that causes this sort of endothermic reaction. Likely when exposed to air.
Can she attempt to remove one of the glands by, like, clamping off as much as possible and tying off any of the veins as those kind of get closer, or those, like, little tubular kind of connections, so that when she removes the gland, she's not exposing it as much as possible to any air? What's the substance inside to any air?
Closest to the actual organ itself, you find that there's essentially only one vein that spreads out and splits off. Clamping off the vein there does seem to allow you to remove the organ itself fairly safely without exposing any of its contents to the outside.
You said there was two of those?
Mm-hmm.
One on each side? Then she'll do the same for both sides.
Okay. After cutting out the organ, you place them quickly into a jar to minimize possible oxygen exposure and finish harvesting the cold gland.
Eight. This is probably what will be useful, mostly.
And Huxley thought the skin had cold resistance properties.
Likely it should. What was it called again, Beggar?
The gland?
Sky Raptor.
Was it
Oh,
the...
yeah, Skyraptor.
Skyra.
For its organs, you can just write down frost vines or cold vines.
Alright. Probably could do something with the skin. Is there any way to identify if there's cold resistance to the skin or something like that, maybe? Theoretically, if it has anything that if it was used to create something like armor or gauntlets or something like that, might be able to carry that property over to something?
You can tell from just sort of the outside that there is nothing really magical about them. Its cold winds stem from chemicals, and its skin is just fairly thick, fairly high quality. You could tell that enchanting it in a way that would grant cold immunity as an armor or something similar would likely be fairly easy, as it, is sort of aligned with that natural cold. On its own, as a leather, it would likely be easily made into cold weather clothing, as it is very, in that sense, cold resistance, but not in a magical.
Probably could be turned into some proper clothing, or as something along those lines, or hold well to an enchantment of sorts.
Well, I mean, I don't know much about tanning, but we could give it a shot.
There's no harm in trying. Right.
The rest of it, I suppose, we can dispose of.
I don't see any further use of it, personally.
Right.
But yeah, thought would be all you would need.
Right. I'll try to set up think up what a tanning thing looks like and have that in the mansion tonight.
For the early stages of tanning, which you would likely be in, all you'd really need is a barrel and some wood.
That's yep. I thought of that. Yep.
Mostly just to, I mean, you could also just, directly have the mention and just create a tanning solution. You wouldn't really need to make that yourself. So you would just have a barrel to sort of soak the.
Perfect.
By the way, the whole time Evelyn does her thing, Silas looks like he's about to say something a couple of times, but then he feels like if he's disturbing her, doing her thing, then it's just gonna make things worse. So for now, he just tries to
Keep
not
your
be in the
focus.
way and help if
Remembers
help is needed.
what Huxley said about sitting quietly.
Hmm.
Very insightful.
Evelyn's focus is entirely on the bird, and the dissection of that. Only briefly glancing at Red a few times, but she hasn't really looked around beyond that.
Hux really wants to give Evan the shredder to make her like cheer up, but he knows she doesn't like the shredder, so he has to like hold himself back.
Hold me back.
Right. Well, I think that's about it.
Great. I'll get a mention up shortly, and yeah.
She moves to head back downstairs.
You know, it went well enough, I guess.
Yeah, I tried my best.
That's all we can do. Let's get this thing out of here. Yeah. Oh wait, hang on. Just step back. Just step back, guys. Just step back. Silver quartz.
Do you sort of angle it to the sign?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The hatch at the center of the door opens up. You see Vin standing just underneath, and the body of the bird is, as a consequence, pushed over the edge.
Nice. And then we shut it, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. As afternoon passes and evening rolls around, is there anything you would like to do before you end up settling into a long rest in the mansion?
Evelyn's going to spend the rest of the afternoon, evening trying to work on some idea of blueprints, schematics, things along those lines of her goal that she's been working on, of something to keep her alive.
Go
start working through
ahead
equations and stuff like that.
and roll me an arcana.
In the meantime, Silas is gonna think about how to apologize to her in the evening when we set up the mansion.
Arcana, that's a 24.
You finish drafting up blueprints, and going off of theory at least should work as intended. All that remains is actually constructing. Yep.
And she probably will not go into the mansion. And will shift from the blueprints to theoretically, she's going to attempt and as much as she can just continue working through the evening into the night, as long as she can stay awake, to begin constructing it.
Can you give me what would this be? Actually, give me a medicine check.
That's 23.
As you start working on your project, there is a slight hitch. Given the material you're currently working with, there is an issue with the flexibility of the object. Using metal as you'd intended would be simply just a little bit too unmalleable for the apparatus to work efficiently. However, you are fully aware of the Warforged currently in your freezer.
Yeah, that's exactly what
The somewhat more malleable living metal that those tend to be made out of. So the only question that remains is whether or not you would use those materials.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
If you're not joining us, like I'll go check on her from time to time.
She is fully shifted into like one of her like intense.
Yeah, work modes.
Depending on the timing, when you visit once, you might see the freezer door slightly open, maybe an arm missing.
That's, I feel like that's fine. That's fine.
Is Red gonna go back and forth between the mansion
Yeah,
and
yeah, probably.
because Silas is gonna be waiting in the mansion and is probably gonna ask Red every time.
I think she's gotten into a project.
Oh, a project like an Abelin project thing.
I think so, yeah.
Well,
Not sure if the raptor gave her the idea, but she's like making something out of Warforged parts or something.
interesting. I mean, you could at least let her know that like lack of sleep is not really good for thinking and stuff. She should get some sleep at some point.
Yeah, that won't, She knows that.
Well, knowing
Yeah, I
is something,
don't
yeah.
need to interfere more today. Is my feeling on the matter. But I will make sure that she gets dinner at some point.
Cool.
As the time comes to settle in for our meals, Does Evelyn rest?
She does not.
Okay. You mind giving me a quick constitution save?
Mm-hmm. Is dirty 20.
As you while away the hours of the night in your project, the hours pass by without you really noticing much of an exhaustion, as it has been a while since you've delved this deep into the project. And you make considerable progress after the night is over. You will have a prototype. The only thing that remains is some testing before you feel like you would be ready to go as far in planting such a thing.
Mm-hmm. And probably I obviously rest is entirely up in the air of what happens, but she would probably only at that point in time let herself rest.
Okay.
Attempt to rest. After carefully hiding
If-
away what she's been working on.
If you rest throughout the day, you would likely only get the benefits of a or several short rests
Mm-hmm.
until evening rolls around.
That's fine. I figured I'd just
Mhm.
use that for some hit point healing stuff.
The next day starts and passes much like those before. Is there anything that you would do throughout?
I don't think so. I guess to keep the like tanning thing going, I need to actually set up a barrel on the ship, not in the mansion.
If there is a amount of time where the mansion is not up, then yes, you would need a physical barrel,
Which
there
likely
are
at some point there
few
will be.
available sort of in the hold. The guard.
Like I can leave the mansion up until I, can figure something
Mhm.
out.
Okay. Yeah, you can easily set that up
Yeah.
throughout the day.
Nice.
The only exception to this day, as opposed to the first, is that no birds come to visit the outer deck, as the airship cuts through the clouds. Throughout the day, in the heat of the sun and the cold air of the waves below, the layer of clouds in the sky condenses to a much thinner layer of white high above the ship's path. Below you, the view of the vast ocean becomes much clearer. A horizon stretching field of deep blue, sometimes interrupted by these small blots of white. Obstacles in the ways, schools of fish or larger sea creatures, maybe even islands. From the distance you have so high on, it's almost impossible to tell. Does anyone throughout the day wander around the outer?
Yeah, I would like to do some training with Saxley. The kind of similar to the training we did at the very beginning of the journey, like throwing stuff off board and trying to tell Saxley to hit it mid-air.
As you would train sort of target practice with Saxley, you fairly quickly notice that dealing with the strong winds on the outer bank, given the speed you are flying at throughout the sky, Huxley has a lot more trouble hitting things or accounting for the sort of shift in distance through the air, through the wind. But you spend the day training. Can you give me a perception check as you train? Anyone else who would spend some time on the other deck can also give me a perception.
It's a 23.
Probably also be outside.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think I'm gonna do my thing in the hold and I don't know. I guess I'm not sleeping, so just check. Gentlemen.
I roll for
Doing
Hux then.
short rest. She wakes up every now and then, but yeah.
Yeah.
I rolled a 6.
7, so 13.
So I had
And throughout the day, as you train or visit the other deck, you take in the inspiring abnormal view you have of the world. And as noon comes and goes, both of you, spot something strange far ahead of the Ashton, along the ocean's edge. At first, it seems like it could be the edge of land. But unlike before, there seems to be a significant lag of the white foam of the waves. It appears more like a dark stain on the ocean as you get closer.
You see that, Hux?
What?
Over there.
What's that?
I don't know. We should tell Vidar, I guess. As Salus turns around and goes to Vidar and says that he sees something at the horizon.
And what do you see?
I will explain what I see. It's weird. Doesn't seem like a
That is
landmass.
Certainly of concern. Currently, nothing else is giving me any signs of danger. Perhaps you could keep an eye out. If it appears more dangerous, we will rise in altitude.
Alright, will do. Hux, we are on lookout duty. We are supposed to check out what's over there, and if we see something that is troubling, we tell Vidar and we fly over it.
With the dart's speed, throughout the next hour, it rushes closer and closer to this dart. And as you get to the point where the airship is soaring almost overhead of the stadium, you finally manage to make out details of this strange phenomenon. Floating across a colossal stretch of the water, you see these oily webs of pitch almost, half submerged, half afloat with pustules, mountainous, tar black bubble.
That probably looks familiar, right?
Just from observing, there is no doubt in your mind
Mm-hmm.
that this wide stretch of the ocean is corrupted somewhat with the blood.
Yes, I mean, as soon as I realize that, I will tell Vidar. It's the Blight.
You immediately feel this added thrum of engines as the dog begins to climb, gaining distance to danger, and once again breaking through the layer of clouds into the open sky beyond. What was Huxley's roll for perception again?
13.
13.
Then, as you step back out, Silas,
Mhm.
just before the dense mist obstructs your view as you climb through the clouds, you catch a glimpse of something else in the water below, amidst the stain of black. A quick flash of white.
Yeah.
Staring
That's
at
terrifying.
That is super terrifying.
and just as you catch glimpse of it, as you sort of look closer to be entirely sure what you're seeing is correct, all you see is a white, dense mist, and suddenly you're wet as you start climbing through the cloud.
Did you just see that, Hux?
Completely losing sight of the ocean below.
Huxon's probably just staring down, and he has turned into like his blight form. Just
Oh,
the dark skin and white eyes. What?
I feel like I saw like a super giant eye looking at us from the blight out of the water. Like, humongous.
An eye?
Yes, it was super creepy. I felt like it stared directly at us.
That's weird.
I will let Vidar know. I will let everyone know in case something is about to happen. Stay here and keep a lookout.
Okay.
I will quickly, like in like 10 seconds, tell Vidar what I saw and basically run past and downstairs to find Red
You
and Ablin.
turn around, you tell everyone of the eye you saw in the ocean. You get this acknowledgement from Vidar, but there's also this little bit of a skepticism that you do not appreciate at least.
Are you entirely sure that it was an eye?
As sure as one can be that it's being stared at from the ocean from a giant, humongous eye. Was definitely an eye.
well, we'll keep an eye out. Wow, I just did the thing. Just let me know if you see it. I'll shoot it. That sound good?
I mean, if we saw that eye from up here and still identified it as an eye, it must have been super big. I don't know if just shooting it will do much.
Worth a try.
I mean, sure, if you don't know what to do, just try and shoot it, but I don't know if it was just an eye. The blight is weird. Or
Yeah.
if it was just a part of a much bigger body, you know. Could be just an eye. The blight is weird that way, but could also be just a part of something else.
I haven't the slightest idea.
I mean, thinking about the blight, maybe the blight is just one big thing in the end anyway. Like,
Maybe.
It's like kind of like a swarm that has like just a hive mind kind of style.
Maybe.
I don't know. Makes me think, if the Blight sees us here, does the Blight back home know that we're here? I mean, probably nothing that thinking about will help really here, but just wondering.
Yeah, that's a disturbing thought, but could be possible.
As a rather eventful moon passed, is there anything you would do throughout the rest of the day?
Just keep a close watch, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
At one point in time, probably later in the day after, Evelyn's head at least is more somewhat rested. She's feeling somewhat more like herself. Evelyn will track down Rhett. Probably late afternoon. Would he still be out on the...
Yeah, I think he's quite concerned about flight things.
For the first time, as you spend the afternoon out on the top deck, this billowing cover of clouds below you does not calm your mind. Instead, you start wondering what exactly lies in the water below. Even though it's so incredibly far away, at this point, you almost would rather see than not see.
I guess in the meantime I would also have like drawn what I've seen like as best as I can in my notebook. Just to show everyone like, here, this is what I saw. I swear.
It's messed up.
I know.
Rhett,
Yeah.
I need to at some point in the future obtain some living specimens.
Yeah. Hang on. Huxley, take the cannon. The what now?
I need to obtain some living specimens, something that I can do some tests on.
I'm sorry. I'm not quite. He's like, okay. Can you describe what you're needing? What you did? Living is a very wide.
It could be potentially a creature or a humanoid of some sort, either or. If it's a beast or something along those lines, I need it to be slightly larger, at least the size of a cat or a dog.
Okay.
But if someone were to be looking for amends, I need living specimens.
Oh, okay, I see.
You will never get Huxley. Never!
God.
How? Okay. How living?
No, living.
Fully alive.
Yeah, sure.
I need to do some testing that would require potentially killing it and bringing it back. So
Oh,
it needs to be living.
alright. Is this in regard to the problem?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Right.
This would have been a lot easier if you'd brought this up like while we were in the city where there were animals.
I hadn't reached that point in time in my research.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's fine.
But while you're all looking out for Silas's moment of pareidolia, you can keep a thought on how to find a living specimen.
Yep.
And then she's going to turn to start walking away again.
Alright, I'll take it. So Evelyn is saying she needs us to like capture some type of. It's probably going to be an animal up here.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's a flying thing.
Have we seen birds so high up here at all?
And it needs to be like fairly large. Like
You know that
very
when you
large.
encountered the other flock of birds, you were flying through the layer of clouds. Currently, you are flying well above the layer.
It's not gonna be easy.
Yeah. But she said it would, well, it could potentially help with the long-term problem. It's something that she'd really appreciate.
Like, does it? It has to be an actual thing.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
it's
I
gotta
could
be an
like.
actual thing, like a
Otherwise,
big
I could
old-
just throw some teeth on the floor, you know.
Yeah, I thought about that too. But they're not really things. Like they don't have a body that lasts, and she needs
Yeah.
to like check to see if something works in preserving life or bringing it back.
Is it a dangerous thing?
Well, I presume if she's not testing it on herself, it must be quite dangerous.
He says as he's petting Suxley.
There are very
Well.
few things that Evelyn won't just directly test on
Yeah.
herself.
Rhett knows this, clearly.
I feel like going lower with the ship would be too dangerous for just some testing that she could do like in a
Yeah.
couple of days anyway when we land, right?
Right. Yes, I would presume so.
Well, I will keep an eye out if I see something
Sounds
alive. I'll try and get it somehow. If it's big enough, we can maybe harpoon it in, like the others.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Then afternoon and evening pass as you're sailing above the clouds, traveling a safer distance away from the previously discovered blighted waters. And you start settling in for a long rest, though you imagine your sleep tonight may be tumultuous. Is there anything you would do before you settle in for them?
I am going to suggest to everyone that we not cast a 7th level spell. As in dimension.
Right.
And instead stay in our bones.
I guess it's gonna be hard for me not to cast a high level spell, but I will.
Well,
I will listen to the majority here and won't do it.
Okay, thank you. Man, this is super awkward now. Who's gonna say where?
In a while.
Been a while. I think, yeah, we'll just do it. Yeah. Okay.
That's why I slept with baklava last time.
Whoa,
That's
whoa,
the
whoa.
baklava.
Okay. Okay. You rest and you awaken the next day. Throughout the night, nothing happens. Throughout the morning, if you were to step outside, you would find yourself still far above, continuing your long run across the sky. You have a full day in which nothing happened.
Don't see any
Anything you would do
creatures.
currently this far above the clouds, you would not see any creatures.
Oh, also, I'm really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I want to, at the beginning of each day, cast Death Ward on Evelyn.
Okay.
I have forgotten before that last combat to say that. I had intended to, but I wasn't going to like, oh, I
Okay.
should have. Anyway,
Okay.
can you please assume that I do that every single day?
No, it's
Then let us take a 5 to 10 minute break as you consider if you're doing anything today. While we wait for Freya, because it's been like a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be back in 5 to 10. I'm gonna go
That's
get
good.
something to drink.
All right.
listen, super easy way, and Evelyn will forgive you.
I sort of thought you were like requesting that Silas volunteer his own body for this.
I mean, she would accept that. If
What?
somebody
She wouldn't
volunteered.
say no. Yeah. Oh.
She's not outright asking, but if he was really sorry, he'd probably offer.
What?
I'm just saying, she just said she needed a living specimen somewhere between the size of a cat or a dog and humanoid.
And I'm a cat humanoid.
Oh no. I'll be back.
Same.
Delay, so we don't we don't lose Freya a second time. Was there anything anyone had wanted to do throughout the day?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, like, keep an eye out for.
Keep an eye out for creatures.
As another day passes far above the clouds, and a large distance has been traveled so far, as you settle in for tonight's long rest, do you pull up the mansion again, or do you go to the home?
I think go with that probably.
Staying in the home? Sorry, I didn't quite fully catch them.
Yes, staying in the hotel. Okay. No mansion.
Then another clear night comes to pass. Going through the now familiar changes of the lines, the day turning a deep fiery red in the setting sun, then a dark blue as the moon rises above to the dark crystal speckled skies. Nothing in particular happens as you retire to your bunk beds in the hold. But in fact, an absence of something. Can everyone roll me a perception roll?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, you said a what check?
Perception.
Perception.
Power roll. I got a natural 20 for myself. Freya, you got a 6.
Stop rolling so bad.
Listen, I'm sorry.
Is anyone's check higher than their own constitution score?
Yes.
By exactly 1, yes.
Okay, so that would be Silas and Red.
Yeah. Mine is
Anyone
like
else?
a lot higher.
Mm-mm.
Very very barely noticeable throughout the night. The dart begins to list.
Like to one side.
Yes.
Where is
A few millimeters at most. But what happens next is more noticeable. As the list continues, Red, Silas, you wake up. You hear faintly the clanking of hurried footsteps somewhere from the spiral staircase.
Is Evelyn in?
Edwin
With me, or-
is. Edwin's probably with you, yeah.
I'll give her a shake. Something's wrong. Open her door. Oh boy.
Baby!
Oh wow. There's alligators.
I don't have any alligators prepared. What the fuck? Can
I'm
you
sorry.
tell me? I fucking scrambling to find some alligators. Man.
It's not alligators. It's something else.
Hey Hux, something's going on out there. Trying to wake Hux.
It might be a scary bird.
As your hands rise from your pillows and you get out of your bunks together, the floor of the ship is already giving you some of the answer. There is none of the minuscule vibration, the thrum of the air.
And,
All of you, of course, immediately understand what this could mean. Evelyn, as you get up, where's Kieran?
Kieran would have been with me. Is Kieran not with me?
Kieran is lying probably on the bed next to you,
Okay, yeah.
but Kieran does not rise.
Everyone's immediately ignoring everything else there and trying to check on Kieran.
You lift up Kieran and he's slack. Much like if it was just a puppet or a doll or a toy that you had made. There's no response whatsoever.
Oh no, 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 no. And she's tooting everything out and starting to take Kieran apart to check on, see why he's not working.
Mm-hmm. Do you at all use your lenses?
Yeah.
They're not working.
Right. Rex, there's no magic.
A prestidigitate.
You cannot prestidigitate.
Joke's on you, I farted. There is a smell.
Oh. The second you try and conjure any strength, you feel its absence.
It's getting eaten, probably.
As
Yeah,
you
why?
step outside, you hear clanking again as from the stairs below you see Vidar running. You see Vidar's face come into view, exhaustion written across his face.
It's not the blight.
What?
We should be miles from anywhere close. None of the engines will start. We're dead in the skies.
His gaze wanders from you toward the staircase leading up, from which you see a light shining into the ship.
I've heard of anti-magic or something, but is there someone coming? I think somebody's doing it.
I did not see. What is that light? Get the rest.
Vidar continues rushing up the stairs.
It's not the blight. It's not the blight. Stay hidden if you can. I think we might be being boarded.
Boarded.
I meant that's just a guess. Anti-magic. Yeah, you got. Yeah. Silas should lead.
Alright, I will go upstairs.
You
I guess Hux is
hurry
following.
after Vidar, who
We'll see what that one.
up on the top deck, moving past the console, slightly pulls the wheel to the right, correcting the slight list that the ship has, and continuing to move out through the door. What you see through the door confirms that your initial fears and Vidar's statement do not align. You see nothing but the clouds before the bow. No storm, no stretching oily web, no geometric forms with eyes where they shouldn't be, just the cloud. There's only one slight thing off with the view outside. The clouds look much harsher than earlier in the soft glow of the moon. There is something bright lighting them up from the sun.
Does it feel like the ship is falling? Or is it gliding? Or
At the moment, the ship is still gliding. Its list has stopped, and you know, just from experience, that the ship is capable of traversing a large distance. As long as it has this initial momentum without its flight capabilities. As you step outside after Vidar, you see a cold light shining in the distance. Further than the horizon reaches, you see only the edge of the glare peeking over the clouds. Clouds which suddenly seem much darker compared to their bright silvery edges, lit up by this extremely bright light.
Okay, Evelyn. I know, but we need to go. I mean, the fastest way to help Kieran is to solve whatever's doing this. Is Evelyn still down in the?
Yeah, she
this
is.
week?
She's just kind of holding Kieran in like almost a state of shock and like trying to like wrap her mind around the situation.
Rhett's like taking off his gauntlets and is loading his regular old pistol.
As you observe the light, the first change occurs. The light seems to wane rapidly and then shine brighter again. Going out, shining brighter, almost like a pulse. The light seems to almost grow for several seconds in this pulse. And then it stops pulsing and only continues to grow. Until a rainbow of colors bursts forth from the light, spreading across the clouds in this radius. Spreading even like this sort of fountain of mist into the starry night sky. All of this happens in seconds. Vidar is turning, already on the move towards the ship's gate, shouting towards the two of you that are outside.
Get inside. Brace. Now.
Okay, I
As he
guess.
lets go of the railing, sprinting for the doorway.
Let's go, Hux!
You barely make it inside, and even as the lever shift and clacking gears move to close the door, you witness the insanity unfurling outside. The ship rocks sideways, almost tumbling like a boomerang as a shockwave hits its side. As you look outside, you see clouds turn into colossal fireball, propelled along the edge of this spreading wave of colors. You observe some clouds turn into massive boulders in the flash of a millisecond, cracking, breaking under their own weight, and plummeting towards the ground. You see other clouds disintegrate or turn into swirling maelstroms of wind, ice, and fire. Streaks of multi-hued light, searing beams and forks of lightning part the chaos that engulfs all of the skies outside that you can see. This wave breaks over you, over the ship, sending the chaos and debris hurtling across the sky. As finally, agonizingly slow, gear by gear, the ship's gate shutters close.
What
Everyone,
the
please
fuck?
give me a Constitution save.
It's just like we're being thrown around.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, 19.
15.
Well,
I will try and roll for Hux again, I guess.
Yeah, I'm rolling bad, so you.
Oh! No!
The DC is 15.
Sorry, Hux. It's a 5. Plus whatever your con modifier is.
Plus 10.
Holy shit.
Nice.
You manage to brace, holding on to whatever is closest to you. Keep yourself in check as you are thrown around towards the walls, to the sides, as, you know, the centripetal force just pushes you to the sides. The dart is in freefall, spinning. Evelyn,
Can
not
I?
seeing any of
Yeah.
this coming.
Well,
it's fine. She's just clutching onto Kira anyways. Like, she was.
Can't,
I'm being
can
ragdolled.
I, instead of bracing, get down, Mr. President, and exchange my success
Sure.
to double.
You know what? Sure. Red, as you lunge, protecting specifically Evelyn's head as you notice this
Mhm.
lurch of the ship, you are immediately knocked out.
Okay.
And so is the dog. The dart is now knocked out of its blind. As it tumbles, it is in free fall, likely towards the ocean. You see nothing through the windows, nothing but colors and light. As you are close to the console, Huxley, Silas, both of you go ahead and roll me a history check.
Alright. Me and who else?
Hux.
Hux, okay. My one is an 8. Oh, Hux, 18 plus? Whatever you have. If it is a plus at all. Well, it's 18. It's a straight 18. That's good.
Go ahead and give me a dex check for Hux.
Dex check.
Or save.
Check.
Another 18. Now I'm on a roll.
Plus 2, so dirty 20.
Huxley. In your training, there isn't that much you paid attention to. Especially during the times when you got to throw the crates at the others. Those are mostly the times that you remember. But there was one other time where you were essentially strapped to a chair and were told to do specific tasks while being wildly thrown around in a circle. You take charge of the wheel and turn the ship, leaning into its current spin, sending the ship into a dive. It takes all of your strength to keep from passing out during the spin. And as you slowly turn the wheel back, letting the spin balance out, you re-establish the ship's glide. The next problem is that you are in a dive. And fully knowing that the forces will be tremendous, if you have any chances at a landing, you only have one choice. You pull the lever responsible for sending the dart into an ascent or descent during a glide, and you feel the full force of gravity pushing down on you as you slowly begin leveling out the dive horizontally. Gradually and slowly, you increase the angle until you feel your consciousness flip. And in a last-ditch effort, you pull down the lever. All of you are unaware of what happens in the next few seconds. As you pull, you and everyone else black out, slipping into complete darkness. Can I get a Constitution save from everyone?
Me as well? Or just...
Mhm.
Yeah. 16.
27.
6.
For the moment, would everyone be so kind as to halve their maximum hit point?
I feel like being kind and halving maximum hit points sounds wrong in the same sentence.
Round up or down?
You can run up. Any magical items that adjust your stats are currently not working. In fact, currently you have no magical item. Every special ability that you have that would recharge upon a long rest is also currently unavailable. Your next memory, Silas, is pain, as you are the one to awaken first. Everything hurts. You're lying on a hard metal surface that is strangely warm. You touch your face, your nose is bleeding slightly. All of your body hurts, but you feel no major injury. All you see is a dim reddish light illuminating the chamber. The dart is still at a tilt, but relatively level. And you see the crumpled form of Vidar and Huxley lying scattered across the ground beside you.
The fuck? Hugs? Anyone? Crawling over to Hugs.
At the nearest sort of object at the console, you pull yourself to your feet. And you are free to act. Do you try and awaken Huxley?
Yeah, I'm gonna check on Hugs. Are you alive?
Do you shake Huxley or?
Yeah.
Okay, you shake Huxley and very slowly and similarly in pain, Huxley, you too awaken.
Hugs. Say something. Stay with me.
I see you lighting up, but I don't hear.
Yeah, same. I see the light going up, but I don't hear anything.
Slaps Huxley. Stay with me, god dang it.
Huxley's trying to say
Hugs,
something.
no.
The guy got hit right in the throat.
Does Vidar move at all when I look over? While Hux is finding their voice?
Currently, you do not see it.
Well, I guess I see Hux is alive. So, even though Hux can't speak right now because the throat was hurt very badly, I will slowly... Does the ship look fine at all, or is it like... does it look messed up? Like, half destroyed?
Currently, It looks fine from the inside. You don't see any obvious malformations of the metal. You do not see any hole. Any damage aside from that it is lying slightly at an angle.
Right. I'll try to slowly make my way downstairs to find out if the others are okay. Because we saw something coming at least. They like got hit completely unaware, so.
Okay. You make your
Sounds
way
good.
down the stairs, sort of holding on to the railing a little bit. Your footing is still someone trying to find their current game.
Also hurts
You
like
make
hell.
your way to the other bunk door.
I guess the door is still open.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't think we got to because Rhett was in and out.
Looking inside, you see both figures sort of crumpled in the corner, lying in a pile.
Red, Evelyn. Slowly making my way over there. First checking on Evelyn.
As you start shaking them, trying to wake them up, both of them awaken. Red, as you awaken, aside from the pain of your body being flung around and possibly hitting the ground, there's an immense headache.
Oh God, my head. I crushed my hat.
I crushed everything.
Kind of glancing around, kind of getting stuck. Does she see? She's instantly looking for Kieran again.
Kieran is
These-
still where you last had him. Probably as the shockwave hit, you simply held him close. And you still have him in your arms and much unchanged, completely unmoving.
Are you alright, Evelyn?
Wake up! Just wake up! Just come back! Just come back! Come on, Kieran! Wake up!
Feel like this is one of the saddest things I've seen, so Silas is gonna be just awkwardly watching because he doesn't know what to do.
Where are we, Silas?
I think on the ground. Hux kinda had to crash land the ship because it was spiraling out of control because some weird
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
My head must be worse than I thought. Did you just say Huxley landed us?
yes. Hux was the only one to notice the slight shift in the ship, otherwise we probably would have like completely like be dead right now.
And that's how Huxley died.
What a hero. Evelyn. You gotta Kieran will be back when we get out of
Shut
this.
up! Shut up! I just need to fix him. I just need to fix him. I can bring him back again. I can do it. I just need some. I need some time. I did it before. I can do it again. I can bring him back.
Not here though. Yes. Not here though.
I just need. I things. I need my tools. I need the Warforged. I can take them apart. And she just kind of scoops Kieran up and is kind of like staggering, trying to make her way over to the lab that she's normally in.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to just push past everybody.
I don't think we can really count on her right now.
Yeah, I can't help.
Which is understandable, but we still have to figure out the situation right now.
Yeah.
Just good to see that you guys are at least alive. I feel super terrible.
Yeah.
but-
Are both of my horns intact? I'm like feeling my head that just feels horrible.
I think. Let me
Touching
take a
your
look.
horn feels heavy, and there is a certain amount of pain you feel, but you do not feel any jagged edges. There's nothing that you can tell is broken.
Oh, that one looks like it's cracked. Oh, it's just a shadow. It looks fine to me.
Freya, are you back? Freya, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear
Yes!
Yes!
We can.
Angelic voice.
me? Sorry.
It's okay.
You hear metal clanking.
So, Red, you want to stay with her or shall I? Someone has to stay with her. And the other one has to check out what's the situation outside, I guess.
Huxley upstairs moves to your daughter, trying to run.
I you go. I don't have. I guess I'm not useful right now. Anyway, he had just like pulled out his like half mask of comprehend languages, and I was like, never mind. This isn't gonna work. I can't talk to people.
Alright, I guess I make my way upstairs again.
Hey, you got your. I mean, your bow and your whip and daggers and stuff work still, right? Like,
I guess so.
Currently, all of your weapons only do the normal damage.
Mm-hmm.
Can I still wild shape?
Do you attempt to?
I would at least try to, like, see if.
You are
Yeah.
currently stuck in your form.
Yeah, I think Huxley's like completely out of it. I guess.
You
I don't know if he would revert back to his.
notice. You do not revert.
back
You are
form.
currently simply in the form you were in last. Whichever one that is your choice. But you would have basically been stuck in it. Vidar
Yeah, it was
pulls himself up. It almost looks like his armor is weighing him down. Back across the sides. And as he pulls the lever, there is this groan of metal and gears. Then you also hear below. As slowly the ship's outer gate rattles open, one wing at a time. And Vidar back. So,
On my way upstairs, I would like to try to get a feeling if my connection to the slip is currently there. Not trying to really go into the slip, but just trying to feel like if it
you almost
be
sort of
possible.
reach out your hand, almost moving a little faster for a moment to feel if you could slip. But there is nothing.
This is really weird. Hugs, is your throat okay again? Kind of feel it too now.
Huxley, as the outer gate opens, you see dark, billowing fumes rising to the sky before the ship. As air streams in from outside, a heat engulfs you, like a wave of fire. It is incredibly warm outside.
And it just stares at Silas.
Okay, so throat's still not okay. It's fine. You're alive. That's important right now. Does Hux look like Hux or like the black Hux?
The black.
Okay. Magic is kinda gone. That's what I've heard from Red, and Ablin really is not approachable right now. Understandably so. So it seems like it's us and the vampire that has to figure out what's going on. Are you okay going out with me, or wanna stay here? I can try and do it myself.
Hux will get up, but it's like, it kind of looks like he's just on autopilot. Like, not really there behind his eyes.
Yeah, maybe you don't look so good. Maybe you stay here. Just take a break.
Just expect that.
Also, I'm gonna check for while I follow Vidar. I will check what's up with Suxley. Suxley is still alive.
Suxley is with you. Likely similar to you, there's some damage. Likely from being thrown around, much like you, but Suxley seems alive. And considering the circumstances well.
That's good. It's a relief. I will slowly limp towards the outside.
You step outside and you see land. The airship has somehow reached ground. You see a dark mountain rise in front of the bow of the ship, covered in streaks of glowing orange. A volcano. The blackened basalt rock rising all the way to its peak is illuminated from somewhere behind the ship. There you see
Vidar lying on the ground.
see him sort of still slowly shambling this.
Vidar, you alright?
You see him wordlessly staring into the distance towards height. And you hear him mumbling something. You barely hear, just under his breath, he seems to whisper to himself.
East, northeast, northwest, marine.
He seems sort of slumped back towards the railing a little bit, holding his head.
I just think to myself, he must have hurt his head very badly, because he's talking all gibberish. I slowly limp closer to him.
You turn around, you look at the guy at the light.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you focus on the dog?
I kinda try to get, like, just reach out my senses to get, like, a feeling of the whole situation. Like, I take a look around, I walk towards Vidar,
Okay.
or just, like, yeah, while I get there, it takes me a couple seconds anyway to limp over there. Just to look around.
As you look around at the dark basalt sort of covering the ground, rising towards the peak of the mountain of the volcano, you notice that while illuminated from the distance, there is still this flashing of different colors reflected off the stone. You don't know the exact time of day, but you feel like it must be nighttime. Yet currently, surrounding you, aside from the light, lava bubbling toward the surface, it is almost as bright as day. And as you finally look towards the back of the ship, you see a star, a sun that hangs high in the sky above. This searing light in the distance, pulsing waves of billowing colors across the heavens.
So it's the sun that's pulsing the source, basically, from what it looks
I'm
like.
not sure if it is the sun,
But this
but
sun.
it looks like a sun.
Yeah. Yeah, he just looks at it with bright eyes, and I mean, nobody looks in his eyes right now. He's doing the cat thing now that he's looking straight into the light, and his pupils go super small.
You become slowly accustomed to the light, to your pain, and slowly your mind begins to process your situation in the environment you're in. You have crash landed at a volcano at the very edge of its coast. In all likelihood, at some point during your glide towards the ground, you must have hit the water, and either momentum or the waves carried you to the coastline. The airship currently sits upon these basalt rocks of cliffs close to the water. And surrounding the cliffs, you see these pits and flows of magma dotting the landscape, causing the sweltering heat you are currently experiencing, despite what wind remains at the coast.
Hmm. Is the lava... I will try to get a glimpse of the lava right now is touching the ship. If we have to like get out of here really quickly, or if it's safe for now.
You make the wrong sort of looking over the sides of the ship. While you do see lava nearby, there doesn't seem to be any currently flowing towards the ship, or so close that it would be in contact.
That's something at least. Vidar, what the hell is all of this?
I feel odd, clouded. Water. Do we have any?
Sure, I will go and fetch some. And I will, as fast as I can, which is not very fast right now probably, but I will make my way downstairs to get some water.
Where do you go to get?
Guess into the was it this one, the kitchen area thingy, which also had a sink where at one point the blight came through.
You step into the kitchen area, recalling then, due to the blinds somehow being able to get into the water, the ship no longer has any water tank
Oh yeah, there was something about
or a
that.
sink to draw water from.
Did we just get water from the mansion, or where did we get water from?
You've been mostly eating in the mansion, I would assume.
Oh,
There
that's
is
2 days.
food in the stores. There is technically ice in the freezers.
Yeah, we'll ask Red. You think we have any water left? Vidar definitely needs some. He's very clouded.
I had some in my pack.
I mean, we could also
I
ask.
don't even bother looking in my pack. I know it's just an empty bag.
Could also ask Hux to make some, but Hux's water is a little bit
That'll
suspicious. Oh yeah, magic.
Magic, yeah. All our water is magical places, pretty much.
Because, to be honest, outside there's just volcanoes and definitely salt water, but nothing else.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to figure out how to get salt water not too salty.
Also, we've kind of got a new sun that is pulsating weird rainbow energy, and it's probably the thing that made us crash.
What does that even mean?
Yeah,
Rhett like starts
Don't
to
ask
look
me.
at Evelyn for like, okay, Evelyn's gonna know. Jeez.
yeah, just okay. I will just try and search for water or something close to it. And probably won't
like-
find any.
Salt water, you can. Is it you boil water or you? I don't remember.
To turn salt water.
Yeah,
palatable?
yeah, I know. But Rhett is.
Oh, sorry.
Has a mild
I wasn't
concussion.
sure. I was thinking,
Yeah.
why did I ask? You're the survivalist. What the fuck? What is wrong with you?
Rhett has a mild concussion and doesn't usually do
Okay,
this.
I guess I
don't know why I assumed. Why you asking?
I guess after I check I won't find any more water anywhere, Vega, I guess, because we got
If
rid of it, right?
you had any water skins outside of any bags of holding, you would probably still have that. But
I think I would have heavily relied on the mansion. I don't think I would carry around that stuff anymore.
then
Oh,
you would
wait.
not find-
Oh, wait! a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check my inventory, because I remember I have one pellet of water in a 15 times 15 feet cube, which I just have to smash on the ground to make water. Because I lost the bag when I went into the slip at some point, the bag of pellets that can make the water into pellets. But I got one single pellet that I got in my possession. So I could make water, a lot of water for now. But we would need...
If that's not magical.
Oh yeah, that's a pellet of... I mean, it's a pellet of water. It's probably magical, how I got it in there. I mean, it's worth a try, you know? Let's find some empty barrels and just try to just try and throw the pellet inside the barrel to see if anything happens.
There are barrels in the hole. You could very well empty some of them out. Most of the contained substances would be, solid, like metal parts, metal pieces, various tools for repairs.
Mm-hmm.
And you empty out a barrel, and you throw the pellet inside, and the pellet doesn't break. Nor
Okay.
does any water appear.
I thought so, but it was worth a try. I will pick up the pellet again in case we can use it at some point again. I only have this bottle of wine that I saved for Kara. A very expensive one, but it's wine. It's basically the worst thing you can do, right? When you need hydration, drink alcohol is pretty bad, right? Okay, I will be right back. I will go upstairs again towards...
Rhett is like getting really anxious about everything up there. Is Evelyn still
Evelyn went into the lab. Did Rhett try and follow her?
Yes. Sorry.
It's fine.
Oh.
Yeah. She probably would have made a weak attempt of blockading the door initially. Again, not really, more of like shoving something in front of the door.
You shove
So,
the closest tray in front of the door.
yeah.
Not realizing that it has wheels and very easily pushed aside.
If he like goes in, which she is not paying him any attention at all, she's just sort of opening up the freezer, dragging out parts of a Warforged that she's just pulling out like some of her tools to just kind of rip off in this very inelegant.
You see Evelyn sort of pull open the freezer. You see this wash of water spilling out onto the floor.
Okay, so I would have followed her in immediately.
Yeah.
Smell somewhat
So you would be able to
There is
probably...
not a
So-
great smell coming.
The conversation would have just had. I would have. I guess I would have come.
You could have probably inserted there's
I
water
probably
in
could
here.
have inserted. There's some really stale. I think it was frozen
With some corpses.
with some corpse parts in it. So yeah, it's not super helpful, but
But for Vidar, he's probably fine.
I guess I could have scooped a cup of some corpse water and given that to Soleil.
Yeah, sure.
Soleil already went upstairs, and while you got the water, he approaches Vidar. Couldn't find any water, but we really need you right now, Vidar. And he gives a really deep sigh and... Don't tell anyone. Would this help? And I just reach out my hand to show him basically offer him my blood. Don't frickin' tell anyone if you do this, but if it has to be done, it has to be done.
I appreciate the offer, but I don't think I could stomach right now. It's gone completely. Or we are cut off. Magic The weave, the ley lines, even atmospheric, even own natural sources.
Oh. Does that mean you're not a vampire right now?
I do not know. I do not know what has happened.
Well, it's good, because then you won't have to remember that I ever offered you this at all. Okay, so what do we do then
Well,
instead?
we do need water. The dart is a metal coffin without magic. We have some food, but no stores of water. Boiling seawater will be arduous. We'd have to get close to.
He seems to have gesture towards the lava. As it boils, pops and bubbles, flinging molten rock everywhere.
The heat alone. It would be best if we find a source of fresh water on the island. If you are overheating, the sea may help, but it is probably also fairly warm. Where we are, this must be South Hill. The volcanic island we would have been nearby. We must be on Route Scala. Mount Route Scala, the red fields. There are lakes. There is rain.
Oh, well, I'm not sure if everyone is capable of doing along a marsh right now. Evelyn is, I mean, Kieran is...
So, I don't want to jump back too much, but well, could you explain more what was going on even before
Yeah.
Slay came down for stuff?
Yeah. She started like pulling out Warforged bits and just taking her tools and just, in a very inelegant way, just ripping off parts of the Warforged and throwing them into the center of the room, kind of near where she's placed Kieran on the ground. She starts kind of opening up some of her bags and pulling out some of her random specimens, just piling things up around, and then she's kneeling on the ground and starting to open up Kieran. You know that she takes Kieran apart pretty consistently and rebuilds him, but she normally does it in private. Like, she doesn't normally like really like take Kieran apart in front of people.
Right.
She's completely tuned you out. Anybody else, she's just sort of like jerky, stumbling, obviously still out of it from the fall as well, but just kind of shaking and mumbling under her breath. Things like, you have to come back. I can't lose you again. I won't. I'm going to fix you. I'm going to do it again. And you can kind of see, like, you've seen elements of Evelyn in, like, her worst places. I don't think you would have seen Evelyn this bad before.
Yeah. Like, I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that she cares a lot about Kieran.
Yes.
And there's some type of connection to the past I picked up on, but I'm like, this is new to me. Would that be
Yes.
accurate?
That's absolutely accurate. She would have taken out her dagger at one point in time and just kind of slashed open her hand and starts kind of drawing really odd, strange symbols on the ground around Kieran. Just work, just work, just work.
Ooh. It might get me stabbed, but I think I'm gonna like eventually. After the conversation with Soleil, and I turned back, and you're still doing this. Just like, not trying to pull you away at all. Just, but like, contain you in a hug.
Sure. If you move closer, you'd
Yeah.
probably notice that she's opened up Kieran's, like the cavity of Kieran's chest, and has kind of like written some of those symbols inside of his chest as well. Inside of Kieran's chest, there's sort of like something. There's a bundle of something that's got like wires and cords and vials attached to it, but it doesn't. It's something that looks organic.
I'm gonna, I'm
She
still gonna, like,
she doesn't shrug you off, but she doesn't stop unless you're like, if you're in her
I'm
way,
not
she's
gonna-
pushing past. But
I'm not gonna let her cut herself more.
that's
But
she
other
only
than that,
needed
you can
that
continue.
initial. Yeah. She's tuned out. She isn't attempting to cut herself any more than that
Okay.
once. She's just sort of writing these strange symbols and just a complete frenzy of Evelyn doesn't do emotions outside of rage and anger much.
Right, yeah.
There's a lot of that here right now, but there's also like tears at this exact moment in time. He's not going to take you. He's not going to take you. Well, I'll defeat him again. I can do it. Just wait.
Evelyn, who is this?
Kieran, it's Kieran. I'll get him back.
Who's Kieran?
I just need some more time. I need more. I need to save my son.
Evelyn, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay.
Working. It's not working.
It's better that he's not here right now. This is a bad place. You wouldn't want your son here. We need to get him out of here. We need to get all of us out of here together. Just hold him. Just hold him. We need you to protect yourself, to protect him. It's gonna work. Just hold him.
If I move, I don't know if all of the pieces will come with him.
We will find them if they don't.
She sort of stills a bit. But then she'll start working on closing Kieran up again.
I'm
She's
just
done. She
gonna-
just kind of cradles him close to her again.
I'm gonna like keep kind of, I guess, the both of them hugged and start guiding her toward the stairs.
She'd allow it, yeah.
Just hoping that eventually we can get distracted by the immediate problems.
Mm-hmm. You slowly guide Evelyn upstairs when you still see Hux just sort of leaning against the console of the ship. Returned to the more black form that you don't see Huxley too often. And outside you see Vidar and Silas. Vidar just sort of hanging against the rail of the ship. Almost flag. Almost looking like he's weighed down by the plates of armor, then clank every time he moves his arms. More so than usual. We lost
Everyone is
we lost
disconnecting.
everyone. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Is it everyone?
No,
I
I'm
think
still in.
still here.
Yeah.
No, you
Gotcha.
join.
At least for me. It's Beggar, me, and Salty.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. I will guide Evelyn over to Huxley and kind of have them sit down together. And then stagger my way over to the group of them with my cup of corpse water.
Oh, you found some.
It's kind of stale. But might not matter to you. Pulling it toward Vidar.
He takes a sip, and for a moment you see him just sort of. You see in his face he's deliberating whether or not he should spit it out. But you see him go down.
There is little we can do about this heat. The entire island is volcanic. We need to find some water at least to stay alive until we can figure out how to get out of here, or until magic comes back.
Do you know where we are?
It is a volcanic island. Raud Gala on the map of Kauro. It is south.
We weren't going south.
You were.
We were going south. I don't know directions very well.
Yeah. I guess the it doesn't actually have a north anywhere on the. Yeah, up is north on this map.
Okay, alright.
It was sort of headed southwest.
So, gotcha.
This right would be.
Is the magic not being here like part of this land?
No.
There's like a freaking extra sun here. What the fuck is going on here? I don't
Yeah, what the
understand
hell is
any.
that?
I don't understand any of this shit. I don't even understand magic.
If the academy and continued its course, it would be in that direction.
Oh,
Oh. Fucking wizards, man.
and why is it creating
No
an
offense at all.
anti-magic field?
You observe the second sun for a long time, and with every occasional pulse of light, you see meteors and comets arcing like projectiles from the sun, plummeting through the distant cloud space above.
So what, we just let it burn itself out while we try to survive?
I don't know.
It's magic. Could take decades for all we know.
Yeah, it could. Yes, it could. Good. Great.
But
Look at the sun.
I agree with Vidar on the one thing. We definitely have to find water before we do anything else. I go over. Hugs! How are you doing? Kinda scare me. You've been very silent. That's not you. Exactly that.
Ow, move.
Here, let me help you. And I will try to get you up.
Yeah, you can't get up. Which seems out of it.
We have to move to find some water. Think you can do that?
Nods slowly.
Looking at Ablin.
Oh, yeah. We
He's-
can go.
Mostly just at this point in time, still holding Kieran and kind of looking down, just every now and then, like kind of tapping or giving him a little bit of a shake.
Water without... Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Who can help? Who can help the most? Huxley, you're really strong. So what did I say we do with the water? Or what do we do to get fresh water?
I think Vidar said they're not too far away. There should be a couple lakes. I don't know what he means with not too far away, but he says there's water somewhere. Probably.
Okay. Yeah, great. I would say I will go pack my pack, but it won't. Let me check what we do have in supplies.
Yeah, we have to take food at least, because that's
Yeah.
not something we're gonna find.
Right. Huxley, can you... Are you... Can you change still?
Ow, move.
You can't... Like, can you walk?
Yeah, he is standing.
but not walking.
But like, can you walk? Like, or how?
Yeah, he takes a step forward.
But you can't like, you can't move like you normally do, like into other. Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
Okay. Well, can you carry like a barrel for us still? I mean, we'll all take whatever we can.
big sparrow.
Well, I don't have one yet. That's just okay. Evelyn, we need to go through the inventory and find helpful things. Things that'll be helpful for you and me and Silas and Kieran. Can you help us pick out the helpful things that we really need to carry?
Wait. Tools. I need my tools. I need my bags.
Okay. But can you come downstairs with us and double check the rest of... I don't know what would be helpful in making an apparatus to make water. Out of like salt water or something.
Right. Right. And she'll start moving downstairs to go look over things.
And we have to be aware of we can't really use a magical bag. We have to actually carry the stuff, so make sure we
But
only
when-
take what we need.
When she
In the
gets
hole.
into this space, she's gonna look towards these doors and then pause and then very quickly move past Rhett to go check on Vint.
It's not...
Is Vint not working either?
You see Vint in the sort of curled up position you'd put him in.
Vint?
There is no response.
What's out the magic?
The wizards, we think, are okay. The
Yeah.
old wizard tower blew up, we think. Blew out the magic or some shit. It's a star. I don't fucking wizards. But that's the best guess. That's a lot of a guess. Probably the further away from it we get, the better.
Yeah, her hands just kind of like tighten up, and like there's like a tenseness in her jaw, and like it's shifting from like shock to just pure rage at this point in time. And she's just gonna start glancing over the supplies and like jerking her hand and pointing at specific things that they're gonna need to be able to survive at least for a bit. Trying to portion out in her head as much as she can, food supplies. Did we really not bring any water elements outside of like personal like water skin and stuff like that?
Nope,
Okay.
we learned that the last time finding the plane.
Okay.
Last time the blight had found its way
That's
into
right.
the water of the ship.
Mhm.
Right.
The ship currently holds none.
I have a couple potions, but they are all in the bag of holding. That's not working anymore.
Then she'd essentially look for either the barrel or something along those lines that they kind of do a create like a boiling system to be able to boil salt water and have the condensation drop into a separate container to be able to collect the fresh water that comes off of it, and things along those lines that would help that process and point those kind of things out. But she's not really talking at this point in time because her jaw is just clenched so tightly. She's just like that kind of gesturing towards things.
You choose the most robust materials you can find, especially in sort of containers. Metal, canvas, everything you require to make sort of distilling system.
I'll just do the best job packing and like creating like carry backpack strappy, and just strap a crate on people.
And then she's gonna move past and work on gathering some of her things into her own personal bags.
I will help Red.
Tools and devices like that.
And like when a big one gets filled, I'll take it to Huxley to hand it off. So we each, carry something.
Hux, can you carry this?
Kind of take it from you.
What?
He will just kind of take it from you.
Okay,
You should hand him something.
good. Hux, you're the strongest. I believe you can do this. Putting both of my hands on Hux's shoulders. We need you right now. Good. I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick. We'll be right back.
So I don't know if we have like a great list of what we're taking, but I'm guessing maybe you have like gear or supplies or something.
Yeah, Evelyn's bringing her stuff. As far as equipment from the storage, probably more rations, however many rations they can realistically carry. And then trying to double up on some of the containers that the rations are in to also carry the supplies to be able to turn salt water or to clean water and that kind of method to be able to get drinkable water.
Probably some like big tarps in case it does rain.
Potentially some element of let's see, resistance. So it was hot outside, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing if there's any sort of material that is maybe slightly just more cooling in nature than anything else to in case there's concerns of like heat exhaustion. Those kind of basic supplies. I don't know what we normally have inside of our ship that we'd be able to bring out
What kind of
along.
stuff would you be looking for?
Anything that could be used for like a tent, but that is more reflective of heat rather than like material wise along those lines. I don't know if it's just the tent that we have, then that's what we have. But something that can at least provide cover.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, at least.
It's not even a bad idea. Like, do we have like reflective like silver paint or sunscreen type of thing?
Trying to think if you would have that on the ship. You definitely have stuff like metal pipes and various sort of metal tools. I don't think you'd have specialized tents.
Then at least some very specific tools for things like being able to dig, like a shovel kind of a thing, or like a spike to be able to, if you're attempting to find water, being able to like spike those into the ground. She'd probably double check the freezers on this side to see if any of the water is decent enough and collectible enough, or that can be collected, since that was primarily food storage. Or if any of the ice can be broken off and be collected before they leave.
As you'd open these doors, you'd find that, of course, the freezer is no longer freezing. There would be just puddles of water as you open this door, as well as this initial wave that has gone out.
Is any of the water collectible?
You would be able to collect some of the water, especially if you were for either the first or the second door ready for it. You'd be able to collect probably around half the back of water.
Okay. Then yeah, she would do that. And is there any of the ice? Like, is the ice completely melted?
The ice at this point is completely
Okay. Then yeah, she'd at least collect the water that they have. So the half a gallon's worth. Do they have any lighter fabric that can be used for the sake of like, normally if you can get them wet, like things like you can wrap cloths around your wrist or near your like blood vessels.
Yeah,
kind of
you
thing
would
can
have
help
regular cloth as well in this case.
Okay. So
just from the beds that you have, you could strip whatever regular cloth you need.
Is there anything else that would make sense for them to take with them?
We have any like climbing gear? Extendable stuff? Metal chain instead of rope? Rope might burn if we're climbing a volcano.
Do we have any of those things back here?
Yeah, you'd have most types of sort of common equipment.
I'll take some climbing gear. I'll take, I don't know, 50 feet of a light chain. I can't think of much else.
Probably yeah, just the again the few blankets for that a tent or two, whatever they needed to be able to get enough. But yeah, that makes sense of everything.
Here's the question. Are there any lead-lined containers?
Lead-lined container. Probably not in storage. don't think you'd be transforming anything that would usually require that, unless Evelyn is carrying some of those.
I'm checking my inventory currently. So I feel like we have a lead-lined box, but I think it's just a small box. Yes, I have a small lead-lined box. I don't have the dimensions of it, but it's small enough to fit in one of her bags.
Lead blocks magic, right? You think lead
Yes.
blocks anti-magic? Does that make any sense at all?
Beggar, would that make any sense at all?
I might have hit my head too hard.
If it was an ongoing spell effect, and you had anything thick enough between you and that spell, it would probably shelter you from that spell. But with how everything feels, this being a spell does not make sense to you. It's almost on a deeper level that you feel in your bones. You feel significantly weakened as a result of whatever happened.
Your words aren't as powerful.
My words can hurt anytime.
Not as much anymore. I don't believe. Theoretically, what you're saying is possible. I don't think that's the scenario here.
Okay, well,
But it's good to know. I do have a small one if there's a situation that it might become helpful.
alright, fair enough. I can't think of anything else. Let's check in with Silas. Looks like. I think we got about everything we can carry. That's helpful. I guess we ought to head out for. Do we head out?
I guess so.
Is it? What time is it? I don't even.
Don't think it really matters right now.
Yeah, I guess not.
It's hard to tell because this additional star makes things weird, but
Yeah.
let's just go, I guess. You ready, Vidar?
You see Vidar nods, but at the same time, somewhat struggle to get up.
Is the armor worth it? Vidar? I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but is the armor really worth it if we're gonna go hike a long way up the volcano?
Probably not.
I'll leave you to that then. Start going down the slide. Well, yeah, where's this? Where's this?
Question, Beggar.
Yeah?
Of Evelyn's gadgets, are all of them not working?
The only thing that would be working is anything that is purely mechanical or chemical in nature.
Does bardic inspiration work?
No.
No. Oh,
What? It's
wow.
not even magic.
What about
What?
her flying gadget?
No.
Okay.
Silas,
Mm-hmm.
you do not have an action surge.
Baby. I'm just a cat.
Nor do you have a second wind.
We're just goddamn NPCs
Level 0 characters.
with a lot of hit points.
With a lot of hit points.
She doesn't have it
Vidar is not even
right
a
now.
vampire anymore.
Can I still play instruments?
Yeah, you can still play.
Ah, magic.
Can I still draw?
Yeah, you can still draw.
Magical.
She doesn't have it right now because it would be like a prepare of her gadgets kind of a thing. But would things like her grappling hook theoretically work?
The grappling hook would likely work.
Okay.
I'm assuming it would be mostly mechanical.
Yeah.
Can Huxley still be comedic relief?
I mean,
Nope.
No.
Wow!
Oh no.
No! We're doomed.
Not,
from this
not
one.
with the core of his being.
Does Vidar
Locked
stay in
away.
his armor or does he change?
He does not get out of the gun.
What about Winona, because it's a mechanical horse?
Is the
No,
only
no, no,
reason
it's not.
Vidar is not getting out of his armor because that you don't have a matching token?
Oh wait, this is definitely an out of character question. No, that is not this. There's some theater of the mind I can do.
Okay.
I don't need a token for everything.
I don't think it matters right now, but do Evelyn's smoke bombs that she hasn't used in forever work?
Probably.
Because that I think is just chemical. Oh boy.
Can you roll me an intelligence check?
Me?
Yep.
Oh man. This is I asked about Vidar's token. Intelligence. It's, just straight intelligence?
Mhm.
19.
Where did you put the cold clay?
Oh yeah, they're in her bag. Evelyn doesn't have a bag of holding. She just has normal bags. So
you
she-
do know that those are purely.
Oh. You can make ice. If need be. I'll hold off on that for now.
You could just probably cool us down. We're passing out heat stroke.
Yeah. I mean, how hot is it right now? Do people look like they're about to pass out?
It is swelteringly hot.
Would there be a way? So I know when the chemical makes contact with air, that it activates the ice effect. Theoretically, would there be a way to take the time to create like a way of ever so slightly releasing some of that chemical? Like connecting a tube to it somehow that could be like on and off kind of a thing.
We have those little syringes.
Without fully knowing what the organ looks like inside, because obviously to know that you would have had to take one apart, which
Right.
would have lost you the gas at the chemical. You could probably
Because I know that there was like the tubular
release
connection.
a little with a tube, but you imagine that it would also freeze over the tube potentially. You could definitely sort of release some but you're not exactly sure how much you even have and how
That's
much
fair.
you would
I'll hold
release.
on to it for now.
You know definitely that if you were to completely smash it, it would likely
Yeah. Just have a
be a
burst
more
of ice.
larger volatile reaction. Probably
Mhm.
create some frost or some cold air in this radius.
Maybe we should try to move along the shore, so at least we get a little spray that evaporates to sort of keep us cool.
Where
So-
are we trying to head?
South would be good, probably, right? South.
Anywhere. Probably. This is not a place without rainfall. There will be pools and lakes, maybe even springs. But there's probably also sulfur.
Only one way to find out, I guess.
So if this is the shoreline, we randomly do it this way. South would be that way. That's my understanding. That's just Rhett's, like, very
Is
basic opinion.
Is that south?
Yeah, it will be south.
Okay.
I was trying to debate for a second if keen mind would be magical in
Uh-huh,
nature.
uh-huh.
But no, I think you should still work.
Just take everything from me, Beggar. You took my child. You took my keen mind.
Okay, so we just head off in that direction.
Yeah, probably staying again, like Rhett said, close to the close-ish to the water, because if the lava is hitting the water at any point in time, it's going to cause steam, not a cooling mist. But just being mindful of that as we're moving forward.
Seeing the water at least lets us know we're still.
Can you give me a perception roll as near the water?
Everyone?
Everyone.
That's a good
I
one.
would specifically mention that it's based on smell, but I don't think that matters right now.
Yeah, because the magic item doesn't work, that makes smell better. I will roll for hugs.
17.
17 for
I,
myself.
I rolled a 4 for hugs. But I made it up with my own roll, which is a
Anyone
30.
gets above, okay, someone did get above an 18, and he got a fucking 30? What the?
Yeah,
Jeez.
I have a plus 13.
Despite your amulet not working, your sense of smell is extremely good. And at first you didn't smell it. There was, after all, in the air the smell of ash, of fire, and the strong smell of salt. But as you near the water, there is a different smell you pick up from the water. It smells slightly like rotten egg.
I think the sulfur you mentioned is coming up. Smells terrible.
There are probably underwater volcanoes surrounding the island. I'll be responsible for that.
Alright, let's just push on.
As Vidar follows you, you notice him falling ever so slightly behind, slower than the rest of you, breathing heavily.
I'll Stay
You
behind a bit and lend him a
realize
shoulder.
that this is also the first time you've ever seen Vidar breathe.
Breathe.
Yeah, he's just not a vampire right now. I will lend him my shoulder to lean on if it makes us faster.
As you start wandering along the shore, can I get another perception roll?
24. And Hux, I will promise to make it better now.
I mean, it's not really paying attention.
It's better, but only 3 better. It's a 7 I rolled. But yeah, for me it was a 24.
It's like a 5 for me.
Silas, can you roll me an intelligence?
Can. Straight roll. 3.
Okay. As you wander along the shore, as you sort of take in the landscape of black and orange of fire, the basalt rock, you do see several plumes of white vapor emanating along the coastline. There are probably 3 somewhat close nearby. There's also one further up the mountain, you see.
Yeah, he doesn't know what to do with this. He's just gonna tell Vidar. Does that help us in any way? Does that mean anything? Points it out.
Vapor means water.
Well, and that's...
You can tell that Vidar is not forgiving.
Is Vidar slowing us down currently?
If you're
Like, is he
waiting
physically,
for him, yes.
but one's going to like kind of glance back from where she's been determinedly stepping forward and look at them and just like again like jaw tight, irritated, like this brewing like just anger, and is going to kind of march back towards them and pull out her water skin and just shove it at Vidar.
You see Vidar stumble a little from the shop. You've never experienced Vidar be this frail.
Mm-hmm. And it's the worst timing ever, and she's not happy about it.
You see Vidar drink, but it doesn't seem to do much.
Should probably take the frickin' armor off, dude.
It does not come off.
What does that mean?
It is a magical armor. It forms around me and it was taken off in the same way. There are no latches.
Oh.
Huxley, can you just like pull the armor apart?
He just goes to rip the armor off.
You
But
go
no.
and you pull at these plates of armor and you find them unmoving to your touch. You of course also notice that you are missing, while you
Yeah.
are still strong, the immense strength that the belt of giant strength gave you. But even without it, you are fairly strong, and the armor simply does not come apart. The metal is thick and incredibly durable.
That's just great. Okay. Okay. We go up the hill to that thing, which might be fresher water than salt water. Does that sound right?
If you're seeing vapor, then that should be water that once collected should theoretically be safe to drink if it's not contaminated with something else.
Let's head there then.
Great.
Okay. You start heading up the mountain, leaving your chip behind at the top. Can everyone please roll me a constitution save? The DC is 15.
You said save, right?
Yes.
Rolled a 19.
14.
If you did not succeed this save, you gain a level of exhaustion.
Can you roll for Hux? Someone.
Yes, I will.
As you ascend the mountain, the air only grows hotter.
I rolled an
The
11.
wind that is blowing in from the coast begins to subside, and you are wet in wind. Wandering up the mountain takes you
Longer than anticipated
several
because I'm at
hours.
2 levels of exhaustion.
Oh,
What?
I haven't had a long rest. Because we didn't finish the long rest when this whole thing happened, so I didn't lose my 1 level of exhaustion from going down.
At the point,
I thought that you made that save.
No, that was that I didn't gain an additional level of exhaustion,
Yes.
but I didn't get a long rest in.
Evelyn did not gain a level of exhaustion, but she had one from getting down. She had not yet recovered.
And I was trying to sleep when this whole thing happened.
I did
So we
not
didn't-
know that.
It's all good.
Well,
So I'm at half
it's
speed.
not really because I was going to give you a greater restoration if it looked like you had not gotten your rest. And then based on that, I didn't, because it seemed like you did get enough rest. Okay.
If you want to, you could have them.
I would like to have done that.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright.
I intended to. She made the save, and it seemed from what you guys were saying back and forth that she had not.
Sorry, not another level of exhaustion.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about. Yeah, that makes sense. She would have had one from being down. So
Okay.
yeah, I will remove it. So just one.
Just
level
one,
exhaustion.
probably. Yeah. I will have expended the components.
As you expend extra energy climbing the mountain and avoiding the fairly obvious flows of lava, you get to a point where you probably consider for a moment turning around. As you do finally draw closer to this plume of white steam you see from below. And you push on, and as you come over the edge of the cliff, another wave of heat hits you. boiling and bubbling magma and lava lies directly before you. The source of the steam is very easily identified. You see a flow of water running down the mountain, and you see steam where the water hits the lava.
Are we all at one level of exhaustion at this point?
I
From
don't think Hux is.
If you made the Constitution save, you do not have a level of exhaustion.
Nice.
You only have one if you fail.
got it.
All right. How are we going to do this?
It's either the water itself that's pouring down or the steam that you're going to want. It's going to depend on which is safer.
How do we even get there?
How do the sides look? Do they look climbable?
They do look somewhat climbable. They are, however, fairly steep and fairly high. It's not going to be an easy climb, but it does appear a fairly safe passage.
Do we all go, or do we try to send just one or two for it? Like specifically looking at
There's
our.
no point in bringing Vidar further.
You turn around, you see
Yeah.
that are probably 100 feet or so back, slowly making his way after you up the mountain.
I mean, I can fetch us some. I'm pretty good at climbing. I can throw it over the lava towards you or something.
Yeah, I got some climbing gear. If that's helpful. Just a couple, like spikes to put. I don't know if it would be helpful. You got your own built-in climbing gear. So.
I mean, I'm pretty good without gear even, but it might help make it easier, safer. I'm not at full strength either.
I'll, hand off whatever pittance and the gear.
I guess I will walk over towards the side to
Oh
see.
no!
Mhm.
Retribution. Retribution.
Do you think of Retribution?
Yes, I do.
Retribution appears.
Oh my god! He is a god. Once you get over there, I'll just hand Silas a smaller container. You fill this up, hand it to Retribution, give us a little wave, and I'll think of Retribution and just back and forth a little bit, yeah?
Okay.
Did Retribution show up?
Yeah.
Yes. Actually it did. Yeah, and I will try and start climbing this thing.
Okay. The ledge you're headed towards is fairly low. At this point, it's only about 15 feet up. So it's fairly easily climbable. The real problem you see currently is you have either the choice what does look to be fairly fragile ground. A lot of cracks with a lot of these glowing tracks of lava throughout, or a larger flow of lava right in front of you before the next one. The other path around seems a lot harder to climb, a lot taller, and at least you currently don't see it completely walled off by the lava. You'd likely have to make a jump here, and the heat will be immense.
Guess I will try and make my way through the center. Slowly climb down here.
Immediately as you step down, you start to feel heat around. It is almost like walking on a sheet of metal that is suspended above, well, fire. You'd wager if you stayed too long, your shoes might not last.
If I wore any, hot, 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 hot.
If you are not wearing shoes, probably worse.
Actually,
Yeah,
never
the
thought
si-
about it.
Silas not wear shoes.
I
Yeah,
actually
I
never,
can actually
I never thought about it. But when I look at least this figurine here,
I know that you had magical shoes at some point.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I do
I
have
know
the,
you can.
I have double magical shoes, I think.
Yeah, I think you had one of each. Is
I
that
have
still the case?
the boots of Elvenkind and the Wind Riders. So yeah, I have boots.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess. Guess I will try and make it quick then, or make a lot of like these small, quick steps the whole time. Even if I'm standing at one place for one moment, I do like this tippy toe steps the whole time.
While you start moving, can you give me 2 separate constitution?
The first one is a 21.
You do not gain another level of
The
exalt.
second one is an 11. I will make an Indomitable for that one. If I still have that, do I
You
still
have
have
Indomitable?
do I have Indomitable?
Does Indomitable recharge on a long rest?
I mean, it does recharge on a long rest,
You
yes.
do not have Indomitable.
Okay. Then I have an 11 for that save. Or the second one.
You take 20 points of fire damage
Ouch.
as you make your way towards the
Hot, 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 hot.
As you get close to the steam, you encounter another separate problem. As you get close, it is scaldingly hot. It is like a sauna. You see the water fall from the upper level directly onto the heated plates of hardened lava, and with a hiss it turns into steam and fills the area.
That's a bad idea. Don't think getting closer is a good idea. Guess I have to go for the jump. I will make my way back because I feel like if I go closer now, my skin is gonna boil.
You quickly make your way back, giving yourself a little bit of rest on the still relatively hot stones to the side, but at least you don't feel like you are melting with every step.
Alright, I guess I have to do this. How hard does this jump look like?
The jump itself does not look that difficult. What you are more concerned about is the slight distortion of air from the heat of the lava below. Once you jump across, you will have to climb fast, and you would assume that the rock that you are going to jump at is also incredibly hot.
Do I have feline agility?
You do have feline.
I'm just gonna use that now for, I guess, more flavor reasons than anything else. As soon as for the jump and for the climb, basically.
Go ahead and roll me an acrobatics roll.
Alright, alright. For a moment there I saw the natural one, but it is a 26 instead.
You leap across what feels like a wall of fire to jump through the air. And as soon as you land with your hands and feet on the cliff face, it also feels like you are holding fire in your hands. As quickly as you can, you scramble your way up, rolling over the edge and blowing on your hands, just sort of holding them away from the heat, as it feels like they are going to burn. As you get to your feet, your prize, your view, there is something you noticed with your incredibly high passive perception. A movement of what you presumed to be a rock. As it cracks open, revealing a massive snake. Almost clad in this skirt of somewhat shiny metal plate. And that is where we end today's session, because
Oh no!
it's too late to start combat.
What do you mean combat?
It's a volcanic snail.
I can just sneak past it.
You got this.
Well, you might be able to, but we will see that next time, because we will have to do initiative.
Alright.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
thank you guys. Of course.
This is
Thank
right.
you, Beggar.
I feel as if I was sitting right there with you guys.
Is that the
That's
only
all
reason you
okay.
do this? Because you are really hot?
No,
You
it's
like
just really fitting for some reason. Just happened to be that way.
You know, Beggar felt hot, so he decided to just kill a
Of course,
child.
Today had to be like the hottest day of the week. I'm like, well, I guess this is immersive.